Hey everybody, another video here for you today. And as far as that video earlier, well, I think my friends know me a lot better for my sense of humor than my knowledge of ancient history. Trust me, can't be serious all the time, especially in today's world. But today we are going to be serious about an ancient site here. I think Matt talked about this last fall. We are going down to southern Turkey. Mersin is the name of the city. And this is the Yumuktepe Mound. Here is Yumuktepe today, surrounded by the city of Mersin here. There is a river, dry river, and this looks like a wash. We would call that a wash in Las Vegas. Dry riverbed cutting through the city. But this place dates back 9,000 years, and a 7,000-year-old fort was found in here. We'll talk about that, show some other pics. But here is this large tepe or tell covered by the trees here today. Let's just take a look. Here's a look down on Street View, the city right here, and the ancient mound or tell right up here underneath the trees. Here's the riverbed with a little bit of water going through it here. Then as you pan over, here is where the archaeological work is being done at this site. You notice the different stonework and different layers here, many different layers of occupation here. But this is the archaeological site of Yumuktepe. This is ancient origins, and you notice a mound here with different stonework on top and then on the sides of it here. It says 7,000-year-old fortress found under the Yumuktepe Mound. Archaeologists in Turkey have uncovered a section of a prehistoric fortress wall. It was found at Yumuktepe Mound, which dates back to the Neolithic period, some 9,000 years ago. This fortress is adding to our knowledge of the history associated with the mound, which is in turn will shed light on the prehistoric past in Anatolia. Here is that mound, once again, stonework all over it here, many different periods of occupation. I will leave plenty of websites below. Here is a look from the top of the mound. Stonework just peeking out from the soil here, trees growing up here. That'll give you an idea what it looks like on top. The earliest dating here goes back to about 7,000 BC, about 9,000 years ago, and then it was just occupied up until some pretty modern times. But here is an idea of the sedimentation at the site, different levels of occupation, different levels, people being here, and then down at the bottom, you can tell, I mean, that almost looks like a floor down there. Pretty interesting. A lot of pottery has been found here. Here is some as it sits, where it was left thousands of years ago. Here's a pic from the Mersin Museum. Pottery found at the Yumuktepe site. Here's some pottery at the site. Here is a look at some jewelry found at the site and the dating here. Many different periods. The Hittites were here, maybe 3,500 years ago. Here is some black obsidian artifacts found at the site. Here is a stone kiln and firebox smelting coming from around 4,000, 5,000 BC. 6,000, 7,000 years ago, they were making copper here. That's pretty old. That's pretty ancient. But a recent find here, a 7,000-year-old stronghold discovered at the Yumuktepe Mound. It says a fortress wall dating 7,000 years back to the Chalcolithic age has been unearthed this summer, according to the Daily Sabah. The wall is made of cut stone and is roughly 20 feet high. Here's a look at some of the archaeological work going on here, but this must be a trove for archaeologists to learn about many different periods of history. But that 7,000-year-old fortress wall was found right in here, but also copper. But the copper is very interesting. I will leave the link for this ancient origins story. It says the Yumuktepe Mound was the site of a copper-producing center. It says it appears that the settlement here was one of the oldest sites of copper production yet found. As excavation went down here, this is called the Chalcolithic period, around 4,500 BC. The habitation level coming from around 6,500 years ago. Here is a very old pic of the mound without any trees. The obvious question is here, the further down you dig, are you going to find levels that are same as the maybe Göbekli Tepe period? Well, I would ask that question. They do have a video linked here on the Ancient Origin website. I will leave this link below in case you want to check it out. But archaeology work going on here. Ancient Tel or Tepe in Mersin, Turkey. That could be just one of many places that we are just kind of learning about today. Very early history, goes back at least 9,000 years. Farther down we dig, might find a very early history to this place, but that is Mersin, right on the coast. Ancient mound going back at least 9,000 years. Hope you thought that was cool, and you all have a very safe day.